In the business world, fulfilling the needs of our product users and making sure they're provided with positive experiences are of utmost importance. We earn our product users' trust and loyalty when they feel that we are particularly interested in understanding their needs and do our best to improve their experiences. This is the very foundation of UX and UI design approaches. So, what does UX mean? UX, or user experience, is the process of designing products or outputs that are useful, easy to use, and desirable to interact with. These products could be a website, a web or mobile application, software, or anything that involves some human-computer interaction. User experience design can also be applied to improve non-tangible outputs like services and processes. It's important to understand that UX design is not aimed at creating a new experience for the user. The experience already exists for the user. It's all about enhancing or improving the experience that users have while interacting with the product and making sure they find value in what's being provided to them. Designing a better user experience requires three things: usefulness, usability, and desirability. This means that the user should not only be able to use the product, it should also be easy and delightful to use. Now, how is UX different from UI? UX design focuses on the overall feel of the experience, whereas UI, or user interface design, focuses on how the product's interfaces look and function. UX design identifies and solves user problems, while UI design creates intuitive, aesthetically pleasing, interactive interfaces for the user. Think of UI as a building architect who makes things look desirable, and UX as an engineer who puts functionality into the design. The concept around UX and UI, which is all about designing a better and more delightful user experience, is also applicable to instructional design. While instructional design focuses on developing learning materials, the process involved is also aimed at enhancing the learner experience, which is pretty much the same as UX's goal in improving the user experience. Just like UX and UI, the instructional design process also involves data gathering, analysis, prototyping, design and development, testing, and evaluation. To examine this further, let's see how UX and UI compare to the process that the Digital Learning Group, or DLG, has. The UX and UI design starts with understanding the problem of the user and the issue that needs to be solved. This involves doing research, analysis of the information gathered, and customer journey mapping. On the other hand, the DLG process begins with initiation and collaboration, where everyone involved gathers information and identifies training needs. It's also ideal at this stage to map out the customer journey in order to guide the learners in providing a better customer experience. After the research and analysis, UX and UI moves on to designing a mock-up or creating a wireframe of the product. This involves an iterative process aimed at creating a comprehensive look at the user's experience with the product. The DLG process follows a similar step. The team moves on to iterative design, where everyone engages in collaborative design work through rotating steps of designing, prototyping, and reviews. The third stage in the UX and UI design process is the launch or implementation of the design. This is where the development of a high-fidelity version of the user interface takes place. Once developed, the product goes to the testing phases, which involve observing how the user is using the actual product. Similarly, for DLG, the iterative development of the design takes place at this point. This involves rotating steps of smaller units from approved designs to alpha, beta, and moving to the gold stage. Continuous evaluation and testing at any point allow for quick iterations. Lastly, UX and UI ends with a final analysis, which will focus on the overall final product. This is where the team asks questions such as: where did our process go right, and why? Where did we struggle, and why? How did our users respond to the product? Did it solve the user's issues and pain points? Where can we improve? The DLG process ends in the same fashion. The team will initiate the implementation of a pre-training readiness check and delivery of training content. Post-training evaluation is conducted using the 4 levels of evaluation. In many ways, UX and UI follows a similar path to the DLG design process. They differ only in the implementation and application of the steps, as well as the target outputs. But the ultimate goal is pretty much the same. That is to create a better experience for the target audience. As designers and developers, enabling the concept of UX and UI in our work will allow us to expand our horizons in terms of creating more impactful and meaningful learning solutions for our learners. There may be differences between UX and UI and our DLG process, but they can work synergistically in improving our users' experience.